welcome to the championship game of the CIF San Diego section Division II Boys Soccer Playoffs. This contest is being conducted under the strictest code of group sportsmanship. The officials are neutral and have been authorized by the CIF San Diego section. They have been assigned to this contest because they have demonstrated their ability to properly and fairly officiate the sport. Spectators are encouraged to support your own team and are requested to refrain from demeaning or degrading your opponents or the officials. We support our young athletes, schools, coaches, and community, but most of all, America's finest schools pride themselves on having America's finest interscholastic spectators. Please help us demonstrate that with a display of the highest ideals of good sportsmanship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, would you now please rise for the playing of the national anthem? The visiting team, Carlsbad Lancers. At keeper, number 11, Paz Hernandez. Also number 11, Colin Corcoran. Number 10, Guadencio Torres. Number 7, a junior, Miguel Velasquez. Number 16, a junior, David Ho. Number 18, a senior, Eric Haas. Number 19, a junior, Justin Shadow. And number 21, a senior, Jason Guevara. Introducing tonight's starting lineup for the Carlsbad Lancers. At defender, a senior, number 20, Miguel Tena. Also defender, a senior, number 15, William Stalder.
Go, Will!
At midfielder, number 10, a sophomore, number 13, Adrian Ocampo.
All right, little guy.
At defender, a senior, number 12, Luis Torres.
Hey, Luis.
At midfielder, a senior, number 11, Brian Robles. At forward, a senior, number 10, Eduardo Mason. At forward, a junior, number 9, Jonathan Montez.
Put in the body bag, Johnny.
At forward, a junior, number 6, Chris Downs. A midfielder, a junior, number 5, Joe Wilson. Defender, a senior, number 2, Jose Estrada. And the goalkeeper, a senior, Sean Sarsomas. The head coach of the Lancers, Jeff Riccatelli, assisted by Scott Peterson. Number 13, Eric Dixon. Goalie, Adam Jaffe. Number 17, David Kilcoyne. Number 21, Ryan McGuire. Number 11, Abe Rodriguez. Number 20, Jeff Wilson. And number 7, Willie Chambers. Introducing tonight's starting lineup. A junior, number 9, Cam Rushall. At forward, a sophomore and junior, number 10, Pat Walker. A defender, a senior, number 2, Ryan Tanner. A defender, number 14, junior, Ryan McLaughlin. Midfielder, a senior, number 12, Greg Maniscalco. Defender, number 15, senior, Caden Koppler. Forward, number 8, junior, Jeff Jarris. Midfielder, number 3, a junior, TK Inbody. Forward, number 6, a senior, Mike Danielson. A midfielder, senior, number 18, Corey Carroll. And a goalie, a sophomore, Bobby Randolph. Coached by Brian McManus. Tonight's official, Jerry Fluak Zach Fewack on the line, along with Carl Adrignola. The referee, Ed Cantor. Gentlemen, the game is in your hands.
Hello everyone, I'm Greg Porter for George Landevin Video Sports Productions, and from San Marcos Excalibur Field, San Marcos High School. It's the boys soccer CIF finals for Division II, Torrey Pines versus the Carlsbad Ball Club. Torrey Pines was 16-2-2 on the season, and Carlsbad was 15-8-2. Torrey Pines is coached by Brian McManus, and the head coach for Carlsbad is Jeff Rigatelli. And Torrey Pines is in white and burgundy, and Carlsbad is in all purple. Chris Downs will set it there for Miguel Pena. Just the starting of the contest here. CIF San Diego section finals. And that one is kicked out. They play 40-minute halves. And trying to get it out of the defensive zone of Carlsbad, putting pressure towards the center of the field across. And back to the defensive side of Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines, a ball club that came in here as the Albocata League champions. They beat Escondido in their first game, 1-0 in the playoffs, and then they beat Valhalla 2-0 in a second game to get here. There's a shot, and it's over the net. A nice attempt on goal by number 12, Greg Maniscalco. Maniscalco was right there in deep, and Maniscalco, the centering pass, and he tried to put it in the net. It was just a little bit too high. The sweeper, Jose Estrada, giving it a good boot, and play is back in the territory of Carlsbad. Carlsbad into purple. And there's a deep one by Stadler. Back to the center of the field. Torrey Pines putting the pressure on. Torrey Pines the Falcons have been putting the pressure on here in the opening part of this soccer match.
Get marked up right now, Will.
And now here's going to be a corner kick for Torrey Pines. Doing the corner kicking is TK Inbody, the junior. And he gets a good one, and a save by the goaltender, Sans Sarsilmaz. Sarsilmaz making a save, getting his first one. And back deep in Torrey Pines territory, but it is kicked out. Walker to the center. Here's a feed to the wing. A header attempt is wide. Maniscalco was on a right wing side, and he tried to deke it back to Jeff Jerry's, and Jerry's missed it just to the wide of the left of the net. So Sarsilmaz will kick it out. Sarsilmaz for the Lancers gets a good boot for a goalie, gets it into their territory. The Falcons, but it rolls back, and now the Falcons have control. Here's a pass to the far side, kept in, but they say he went out of bounds. Cam Worskell, who does the throw-in duties for the Falcons, wasn't able to keep it in. In the corner. Here's the feed to the center, and it's headed out. But back it goes, and a goal save by the goalie, Bobby Randolph. So Bobby Randolph makes the save for the Falcons. Gets his first save of the contest. Playing the center. With control is the Falcons. Lancers feed it down in deep. And it goes out of play. Again, they play 40 minutes halves, and they'll get a 10-minute halftime, and then they'll go 40 minutes again. And if it's tied at the end of regulation play, they'll go into an overtime session of 15 minutes for 2 tries at an overtime session. If it's not, then the Falcons and the Lancers will both have their names on the 93-94 trophy. Pressure. Torrey Pines deep in their own territory. Wersko to the left side. Pat Walker pushing it up. Walker dribbling with the left and trying to go to the right, and it's taken away. Eduardo Mason took it away. Couple of defenders for Torrey Pines. And that one is kicked out of play. And throwing is out of play. Ocampo. A violation. In the air, Torrey Pines defenders. And they feed it back downfield. Torrey Pines has it. That's Pat Walker, number 10. Walker walking it in the middle. Walker stops, feeds it to the left side. Walker gets it again, loses his footing. And now 2 defenders take it away. But coming up from his defensive position is Cam Wersko, the junior. And it goes out of play, but Wersko comes up. The fullback.
Get on 12. Hey, Adrian, you're on 12. There you go. Get marked up on this now, guys. Come on.
Number 9, the junior, Cam Wersko. Here's the throw-in. It's a good long throw-in, and it's headed out. In the center of the field. Pressure by Carlsbad. And we have a violation. A foul. And now Carlsbad will have the free kick. Number 13, Adrian Ocampo, a sophomore, stalwart. Ocampo shoots it on a goal, he scores! Ocampo fed it just inside the 2 defenders, and Ocampo gets the goal. Adrian Ocampo, and it's 1-0, Carlsbad. The young man on the ball club, Ocampo, puts them ahead on a play that was mishandled by the defenders. They just felt that he wasn't going to be able to put the English on that play, on that soccer ball, and he was able to do it. It just whisked by both of them, and it was shot in the corner of the net. 1-0. That goal scored unofficially at about the 10-minute mark of this first half.
Guys, you gotta run, Brian.
And now Torrey Pines
Come on, down the middle, marked up, right there.
will have the free kick there.
Come up, Jose, don't let him in so tight. Jose, walk him up. Walk
Free
him up.
kicking it will be
Run
TK in-body to the center. It's blocked and out of play. But now they'll get a corner kick as it was blocked off the defenders. 1-0 in favor of Carlsbad, the Lancers, who come in here winning 15 games, losing 8. And here's the feed to the center. And the goalie is injured as he crashed into another player for Torrey Pines. And right now, he's trying to shake it off, but he was hit rather hard on the play. Remember, these players wear padding, but the padding they wear usually is for the legs protection. They usually don't wear anything for the shoulders or anything above the waist. 1-0 here in the first half in favor of Carlsbad. Okay, let's get your lineups for Torrey Pines. The Falcons didn't get a chance to do that as the game started. Quickly, number 6 is Mike Danielson. These are all-star players here. Number 8, Jeff Jerries is a forward. Number 10, Pat Walker for Torrey Pines. Abe Rodriguez also plays forward. Damian Kilcoyne, number 17. Willie Chambers is number 7. He plays forward. And there's San Sarsamaz, he shakes it off, and he'll be okay there for Carlsbad. TK embodies another halfback, number 3. Greg Maniscalco for Torrey Pines is number 12 tonight. Corey Carroll, 18. 20 is Jeff Wilson. Also playing in the defender's position is Cam Worskell, number 9. Number 14, Brian McLaughlin. Number 15 is Caden Koffler. Number 21, Brian McGuire. When he plays, Eric Dixon is number 13. Number 2, Brian Tanner. The sweeper and a goalie is Bobby Randolph for Torrey Pines. For Carlsbad tonight, the forwards is Chris Downs. He's number 6. Number 7 is Miguel Velasquez. Number 9 is Jonathan Montez, the top scorer for them. Eduardo Mason is number 10. And number 11 is Brian Robles. The midfielder, number 12, Luis Torres. Gudencio Torres, a sophomore, number 4. Joe Wilson is number 5. Here's a rush by Torrey Pines. The ball goes out of play. And Joe Wilson, a halfback also for Carlsbad, is number 5. Number 13, Adrian Acampo. Number 19 is Justin Shadow. Number 18 is Eric Hawes. Jose Estrada is number 2. David Ho, number 16. William Stadler is number 15. Number 20 is Miguel Pena. Number 21 is Jason Gabara. Number 3 is Colin Corcoran. And number 2 is Jose Estrada on a save by San Sarsamaz. So Sarsamaz seems to be okay as he was able to make the save on that play. And we have an offsides violation. That violation is against Torrey Pines, so now Carlsbad will get the free kick. The Carlsbad Partisans over to the side that we are on here at the Excalibur Field here in San Marcos. You're listening to Greg Porter for George Langevin Video Sports Productions. It's the CIF San Diego section finals of boys soccer in Division II. 1-0. The score, the Lancers of Carlsbad lead over the Falcons of Torrey Pines here in the first half of action, with about half of the first half gone. Here's the throw in. Torrey Pines defenders get it deep out of their own territory and work it up to midfield. And it is pushed out quickly as it comes across the line by Luis Torres, the senior. Nice play by Luis Torres to come over and cut that ball off before it gets across the line. However, since they kicked it out of play, it will be thrown in by number 9, Worskell. The junior gets a deep one along the sidelines. And out of play.
Leave him offside. Will. Right there, Will. Right there, Will. And if they turn it, you're back on him. Let's go. Hit him up. It's offside, ref.
Control to midfield. And the Torrey Pines defenders get control and they work it for the rush. The offensive side for Torrey Pines. To the left, center and cross, and this one is a violation against Torrey Pines with the body. So the attempt will go to Carlsbad for a free kick by the goaltender. And he gets a good one across midfield. And Sarselmas kicks it out as it goes over to the wing. Sarselmas wanting to cut off the potentiality of a feed from the corner. 1-0 in favor of Carlsbad over Torrey Pines here in the first half of the CIF final. Both of these two teams from the Avocado League. The champions in the Avocado League was Torrey Pines. A fourth place entrant into the playoffs was Carlsbad. And they lead in this contest right now.
Come on, win this ball.
Torrey Pines in this contest has had the territorial advantage. For the most part, here's a feed, cross, and this one is headed in. Nice try of a save by Sarselmas, but it went off of his hand, and then it was knocked in by number 8, and that's Jeff Jerry's, the junior. Jerry's was right there in case of a rebound, and there was one, and Jerry's was able to tap it in.
Pick it up. Let's go.
They say that one was at the 17-minute mark. And remember, the clock stops on a injury, and that's the only time when you have a clock stoppage.
Come on, guys, look at this. All right, thank you.
1-1 is the score, as Torrey Pines was able to get the equalizer on the goal by Jerry's.
Quick to the front right now. Chris, you don't have all the day. Okay, let's go. Come on, Chris.
Carlsbad to the center. There's Jerry's. Jerry's being marked over there by Jeff Wilson. Wilson and Jerry's. He goes in the middle. Now Wilson has it. Wilson for Carlsbad pushes it up. Worst goal. Kicked it back. Jerry's has it. Jerry's feeds it to the left side to Pat Walker. Walker goes around two defender. Walker in deep. Feeds it to the center, and it's kicked out of play. Boy, did he kick that. He almost kicked that one over the fence. That was number 6, Chris Downs.
Not dive in, guys. Stand them up.
1-1 the score here in the first half of action here in the CIF Division II Finals. In the corner, worst goal, and it is off the defender. So Cam Worskell, the junior, number 9, will do the corner kicking duties.
Who's on the back? There you go, Adrian. Let's get in on
Remember on the last corner kick, there was a goal scored by the Falcons as it went off the goaltender. Fed to the center. Defenders, Pat Walker trying to get control. Walker, number 10, stops. Gains control, but then it's kicked out by Chris Downs. Chris Downs, number 6, there in purple for Carlsbad. He's had a fine season for them, as has the rest of his teammates. Get a chance, as you look at the game here from this view, you see the green mountains here of San Marcos area. Very beautiful out here. A little overcast today.
Now drop in, let's go.
Cam Worsko with another attempt, this time from the right side of the net. Worsko with a line drive feed, and this one goes by 2 players on an attempt. It's kept in and fed back to the center, and a great save under much duress by Sean Sosomaz, the senior, playing a fine game. He's had a tough one. He was able to jump between 2 players. Boy, that agility pays off right there. Late in the season, you know he's been banged up a lot. Anytime you play goalie, you're going to be banged up. This level of play with Sosomaz, you got to be a tough cookie here. And he is. Chris Downs trying to get control, and the violation is against Cam Worskell, number 9, for Torrey Pines. So now Carlsbad. They like those colors in Carlsbad. Purple, seems like you see the purple amongst just about any of the sports programs. Teams, they like to wear the purple colors. There's a feed and a great save. Nice save by Bobby Randolph. That ball was going to Randolph's right, and Randolph was able to make the save at the last moment. A nice heading attempt for a possible goal, but Randolph was there. 1-1 to score here in the first half. About 22 minutes gone. Remember, they play 40. Here's a shot on goal, and this one is almost a score, but it was knocked away at the last moment. And let's see what we have here. We have a couple of substitutions for Carlsbad. Miguel Velasquez is coming in, number 7. And Eduardo Mason comes out of the contest. In the middle, that could have been a dangerous play there, but they didn't call it, or a foul. Dangerous play is usually inside your penalty box area. And if it is, it's going to be a shot on goal. We're talking about a penalty shot.
Drop in, Miguel, let's go. Outside right.
Torrey Pines on the attack.
No dive, come on.
There's the feed to the other side, and this one goes out of play. Nice hustle there by Jeff Jerry's. Jerry's number 8 there, trying to hustle and keep it in. Jerry's the junior. He'll be back next year for Torrey Pines.
Get open, guys. Let's look for some more.
Chris Downs, he's another junior, and this one is headed out by the senior, Brian Robles, number 11 for Carlsbad. Here's Cam Worskell. Worskell with the throw-in for the Falcons. And this one is headed out by Luis Torres. Torres, the senior. 1-1 here in the first half. Not an extremely cold night, but the players feel it. Rather nippy. A little crisp, so to speak. inside Carlsbad territory, and it is kicked out of play by Torrey Pines. Carlsbad with the throw-in. Chris Downs will do the duties. Downs getting it into the air. Jonathan Montez, and it's going back deep into the territory, but it's kicked out quickly. TK in body, kicking it out, or actually trying to make the offensive play. It was kicked out by Carlsbad. Worskell with the throw in the center. And headed back to Pat Walker. Walker amongst traffic. He shoots it on goal and a save. Pat Walker with the shot. Oh, I tell you, who likes to get in there defensively, Jose Estrada. Estrada was right there on Walker when he took the shot, number 2 for Carlsbad. In the corner. Keeping it in. And heading it on 2 kicks to number 8, the man who scored the last goal for him, Jeff Jerry's. Jerry's in his own defensive zone. Here's Chris Downs with a cross to the other side of the field. Downs, it stays in as it is played in. Here's the throw in to the far side of the field on your camera, your video screen there. 1-1 between Torrey Pines and Carlsbad at CIF Finals. Here's a shot, and this is going to go wide. The attempt by Jeff Wilson, the senior, and Wilson missed it wide. Wilson didn't really have a good shot on it, but he just wanted to put something towards the net, and you never know what can happen when you do that. That's the idea. Goaltender Bobby Randolph. Randolph, who made a spectacular save minutes ago to thwart a possible 2-1 score for Carlsbad. Torrey Pines, who's had the territorial advantage, if you want to mark that down, so to speak, in this contest. But Carlsbad has made the most of their opportunities when they've had them, including the one that I just mentioned on Randolph. Just about 11 minutes left to play here in the first half. They play 40. The throw in. Walker. He's going to throw it in quickly to keep the flow going offensively. Walker in the center. 2 defenders. Pops it up. Couple of tackles. And out with it is number 3, pushing it up. And it's knocked out of there quickly by Estrada, Jose Estrada, and back they go the other way momentarily. Torrey Pines with a kick. That was a nice play by number 14, and that is Brian McLaughlin. McLaughlin just kind of used the back of his foot to keep it in. It was knocked out by Carlsbad, so Torrey Pines with the throw-in on the other side. In body with a shot to a crossing shot, and it is headed out by Jeff Jerry's. Jerry's wanted to use his head, number 8, to try and get it going back the other way, but he didn't get a chance to hit it with the left side of his head to send it back towards the goaltender, Sarslamaz. So it'll be a goal kick by number 2, Jose Estrada. Estrada for the Lancers. Estrada with a good one all the way up to midfield. But it goes back the other way by in-body to Pat Walker. Walker, the center forward, feeds it over the left side at Corey Carroll. Carroll stops. Carroll looking for somebody. And he'll feed it into the center. But Chris Downs, and Downs is ran over. Downs ran over by Greg Maniscalco, and Downs will give his team a free kick. Estrada. Robles, number 11, feeds it in the corner. Kept in, and back across the midfield. Robles, straight down the middle. but it's headed out towards the wing to number 9. That's Jonathan Montez. To the other side of the field, Adrian Ocampo. Ocampo hustling hard, but loses it. They keep it in, Carlsbad. Deep in the territory, but coming up quickly on that hustle play was Brian McLaughlin. Down the far side, hustling, and it goes out of play. Staying right there on the play was Luis Torres. Torres staying with Mike Danielson to the far side there. And Torres says, you're not going to get around me. And he wasn't able to, and it goes out of play. The score is 1-1 here in the first half between the Falcons and the Lancers.
Chris, get on him. And Chris, you go after the ball. Let's
Here's a throw in.
In that middle.
In body, feeds it back. And a save. Saved by Sarselmaz. Sarselmaz has had a few of them here in the first half. And now it is headed back by defensive player Brian Tanner. The sweeper back to his goaltender, and a goal kick by Randolph. And falling over was Corey Carroll. Coming out was Estrada. And they don't like the play, does Carlsbad, their fans, the fact that the play was called in this manner. They're very boisterous tonight, Carlsbad side. They have more fans that have come out. Two outstanding teams in this finals. Here's a centering cross, and it's headed back towards the wing. And out of play. Robles over there to the far side.
Hey, Adrian. It's you and John up front. You two.
And a substitution here for Carlsbad. Miguel Velasquez comes out, and coming in is Joe Wilson. Jose Estrada with a deep kick. Tanner will let it roll to Randolph. Bobby Randolph with it. The goaltender. And Randolph gives it a good kick, but it's going to sail over here to the near side and knocked out of play. Chris Downs coming over to knock it out. Cam Worskell will throw it in for Torrey Pines. Worskell, number 9. Downs sends it back the other way, but Tanner sends it back into the Carlsbad territory. Jose Estrada with a nice tackle. Again, Estrada willing to use the body. Here's a centering pass, and it's into the corner, and it's a goal. What a great play by number 8, Jeff Jerry's. Jerry's redirected the feed into the corner, and Jerry's celebrating a la some great soccer players of a professional level, and he did a professional type of head into the corner of the net. No chance for the goaltender, Sarselmaz, to get to that one. It hit the post and rolled back in. 2-1 in favor of Torrey Pines on Jerry's second goal.
Come on, throw the ball. Come on, man. Down the middle, guys.
And Jose Estrada off his body. Again, in this contest, Torrey Pines has had the pressure. They have had most of the shots on goal. And they have the 2-1 lead right now with a corner kick. Number 3 for Torrey Pines, and that is TKN Body. in-body with a corner kick. A nice high one in the center, but it is headed out of the field of play by Jeff Jerry's. Jerry's, the lead man for Torrey Pines. Jerry's looked like he could be a football player. He's got that size, big guy. Worskell redirected to the center of the field, but there's Jose Estrada to push it up for the defense. Estrada looking for the speedy man, Ocampo. And Torrey Pines, defender, heads it back into the offensive zone, but it is going to be a violation. The violation against the Lancers, so the Falcons will get the free kick. They lead in this contest 2-1. Most recent goal scored by Jeff Jerry's, the man who just did that free kick. Walker shot, and it's hard, but too high. Nice shot by the junior, but it's a little bit too high. Pat Walker, as is Jeff Jerry's, and a number of the players for Torrey Pines have played all the way through the soccer levels, junior soccer, and playing for club teams now when they're not playing for their high school. Many of the players are on the Surf and the Nomads, very popular teams in San Diego for club soccer.
Number 20.
Ocampo trying to get in touch with the ball, and it is out of play. Time running down here in the first half to the wing, trying to get it as Sarcelmas. He does, and he kicks it out of play up into the stands, and it'll be picked up by a fan. Sarcelmas wanting to get it out of deep territory. Torrey Pines and their partisans over there all bundled up here. Lights taking effect. This evening game here in March, early March. 1994. And a violation against the Falcons, so the Lancers, Jose Estrada will do the free kicking. And Estrada, low roller to midfield. Downs try to keep it going, but it was taken away. Controlled by Torrey Pines to the wing. That's Mike Danielson, crossing pass. It bounces around in the defensive territory, but it's going to be a yellow card against Torrey Pines. That's a warning.
Yellow card, warning on number 20.
Jeff Wilson getting the yellow card. Automatic substitution in high school soccer.
Number 18, Corey Carroll.
Corey Carroll will come in to take his place. So sitting down is Jeff Wilson, regain his thoughts. And Wilson will step in. Jose Estrada going to tee it up. A momentary stop of the clock, and we're back to live action. 2-1 in favor of Torrey Pines in the soccer CIF Division II final. Jose Estrada uses the top of his body, but it goes by him momentarily, and then finally it's picked up by his teammate and kicked out of play. Nice job by Luis Torres to back Jose Estrada up. And now Estrada is down for the moment. And whenever you have a player injured, there's a timeout. And Estrada will walk it off. And Jose Estrada, a little bit frustrated on the play, will come out. Coming in, replacement number 13, Adrian Ocampo. So Estrada, even though he didn't get a yellow card, he comes out and sits out a la Jeff Wilson on the Torrey Pines side. Here's a cross to the center, and it is kicked out of play quickly by Miguel Pena. Pena wanted to kick it out of play, but if that one would have been a little bit lower, he would have kicked it in his own net. Headed by Pena. Carlsbad with control, trying to work it out of their own territory. 2-1, Torrey Pines leads here. Winding down the first half. Torrey Pines trying to keep this 2-1 lead here in the first half. Deep feed in the corner and out of play. Torrey Pines in the first half has had the big territorial advantage. Most of the shots on goal have been by the Falcons. They've been able to control the play in the territory of the Lancers and working it around the penalty box. They've been in that penalty box, that 18-yard box, quite frequently of the Lancers has the Falcons. And a violation there and a free kick for Torrey Pines. Falcons, and it's taken away. Robles feeds it in the center, but Randolph will get it, as he gets it before Velasquez can get to it. Gonna walk it out, Wurskell, but it goes right to the wing. Velasquez trying to get it, and the Falcon player goes down. And a violation. Against Velasquez, so the free kick. Bobby Randolph, the sophomore goaltender. Boy, you got to be really good to be a sophomore and be the starting goaltender for the varsity club. And Randolph is a good one, as he has exhibited in the few chances that he's had in this contest. To make a save. And a couple of blasts of the whistle, and that is halftime. So the first 40 minutes of this CIF Division II final between the Torrey Pines Falcons and the Carlsbad Lancers shows 2 for the Torrey Pines Falcons over the Lancers at halftime.
Again, hitting these forwards with a lot of success up there. We're going to let behind them a lot. We're going to drop balls off a little bit quicker. We're going to start taking a few more shots on that side. We're going that extra 2 yards on the run instead of just let one go. You saw there when you saw them were kicking in, Pat hit one, Bobby went down, it flew over his head, about 6 foot, hit a bump and went over. Take the shots. Okay, now once, what you're trying to do is, when you go in there and you don't knock a good ball, you're trying to make up for it by going after the ball again, but you're not getting that next over your head and it's a bit chased back. If you've knocked a bad ball, there's nothing you can do about it.
We've done it several times this year, okay? One more time, that's all we need. We get one goal, right now, that's all we're worrying about. We get one goal, and it's a 0-0 ball game, guys. Okay? One goal, and we get right back in this game. Let's settle down, let's play soccer like we can. You know how we play those deep away games, passing games? That's all it is out here, guys. Just we have a goal at the end of the field that we're trying to get to, okay? So let's start working the ball, let's start using the ball like they can use the ball, okay? All right?
Let's go, guys. Stay in the game, man. Let's go. Wake up.
Second half starting lineup. Second half starting lineup. This is what we're going with, okay? Miguel, you're going to stay at sweeper. All right? And I'm going to see him.
Go, Shadow!
Okay, starting in the second half of action, it's 2-1. Torrey Pines leads over the Carlsbad Lancers. And, of course, the teams have switched directions. Torrey Pines now going from right to left, and Carlsbad going from left to right. The first goal of the game was scored by Adrian Ocampo for the Lancers, and they led 1-0. And then later on, Jeff Jerry's even up the score for Torrey Pines, and it was a 1-1 score. That was at the 17-minute mark. And then a heading goal on a great play by Jeff Jerry's gave him the 2-1 lead in the first half, and that's the way it is right now. Torrey Pines had the territorial advantage. They had the shots on goal in the first half of a bigger number, a big number over Carlsbad. Both of these two teams, Torrey Pines to get here, they beat Escondido 1-0 in the first playoff game, and then they beat Valhalla 2-0 to get to this championship game. They won their Avocado League. Also in the Avocado League was the Lancers. In their first game, they played Helix. They beat them 1-0, and then they also came and beat the #1 seed, Point Loma, 2-1 on penalty kicks. And there's a violation. Trying to get to it was Jeff Jerry's, and Jerry's, who also plays football when he's not playing soccer. 2 seasons. Don't really run into each other that much to where it will affect either team, soccer or the football team. Off the body of Jerry's, hustling after it, and it goes out of play.
Yes, again.
Torrey Pines on the attack, as they have been for most of the game here in the second half now, with the 2-1 lead. When you have a lead like this in soccer, they don't score a lot of goals, so it could be a situation where they could just try to play a territorial game and just try and milk out the clock. But I don't think these high school players are going to want to do that. I think they're both going to be charged, and both of these two teams have played very well, obviously, to be to this point. And I'm not so sure it's going to end up 2-1, but you never know. Carlsbad, Jerry's with a slide kick. And it goes out of play. Lights taking full effect here in the second half now. Here's Brian Robles. Robles, the feed to the center, over to Velasquez. Velasquez with the soccer ball. Loses it, regains it, a slide tackle, and it is out of play. Nice hustle by the Falcon defense. Hustling over there, the defender, Caden Koffler, number 15, the senior.
Get ahead on this.
A throw in, and it just goes past to the far wing side. Kicked out. Carlsbad, coached by Jeff Rigatelli, is assistant coach Scott Peterson. Torrey Pines, coached by Brian McManus, with his assistant coach Sean Jackson. Jonathan Montanez controlling it. And he'll leave it for Acampo, who feeds it outside of Joe Wilson. Wilson with McLaughlin is knocked out of the body of McLaughlin. So Joe Wilson will go out there and retrieve it, pass the track, and he'll get it started again for Carlsbad. It's going to be a throw-in for Carlsbad. Carlsbad wants to try to get the flow going here in the second half. Put the pressure on Bobby Randolph. Number of defenders, and they work it to the wing. Here's a fake, and a push towards the center. And it is kicked out. Pat Walker chasing after it. Walker stops. Trying to go around a defender with a left foot. Walker feeds it to center, and it goes off to the wing. Greg Maniscalco shoots it to the other side. Maniscalco. Here's a shot, and it just misses the corner. Torrey Pines for a bid there to make it 3-1. He just missed the corner on a shot by number 19. Or number 18, check that. Corey Carroll, midfielder, halfback.
Go, pick it up.
Carroll feeds it back to the center. Robles has it. Goes off the body and out of play. Torrey Pines throw. TK in body, pushing it upfield, in body, going around a couple of players, and it's taken away. Pushing it up is Jeff Wilson. Wilson still has the soccer ball and loses it. Now stops. Tries to go around a player, and then it's stopped right there, and it's sent back the other way with a deep kick by Greg Maniscalco.
Brian, push outside left.
2-1. Torrey Pines leads in this contest, and now coming in is a man who was kind of frustrated at the end of the first half, Jose Estrada, the senior. He's back into the contest for number 6, Chris Downs, the junior.
Number 6, Chris Downs.
Couple of moves. Here's a feed to the center. Here's a shot to score by Pat Walker, the junior. Nice feed from the corner. Pat Walker beat the defender, and he beat the goaltender with a header into the corner, top left-hand corner of the net. And it's now 3-1.
Pat Walker. Assist, number 6, Mike Danielson.
Mike Danielson with the feed from the corner, and Walker getting the goal. His first one of the contest, and he goes out of play. 3-1. Torrey Pines leading in this contest, and they have the throw-in. In body, and it goes to the wing. Worst goal, and down the right sidelines. Violation on Jeff Jerry's. It'll be a free kick for Carlsbad. Carlsbad now down by 2 goals. Have to begin to press. Coming towards the near side. Kept in. Defenders for Torrey Pines. Jeff Jerry's in body. Into the far corner and kicked out of play. And let's see. There's a call against Torrey Pines. It's a yellow card, and that's an automatic substitution. Corey Carroll. So Corey Carroll and he'll have to come out. And now we'll get the number of the new player in the contest. Willie Chambers. Willie Chambers, the junior now, takes Corey Carroll's spot. Automatic sit down there on a yellow card. That's 2 yellow cards in the contest for Torrey Pines. Wilson had the other one. Jeff Wilson, number 20. In the attacking zone, and it's kicked out of play. Carlsbad's Chris Downs is going to check in. Chris Downs will come in, and he'll take the place of David Ho. David Ho gets a hand there by his head coach. Two players go after it there, and a miss. Coming down the middle, and a violation. And this one could be a devastating one, as deep in their own territory. Greg Maniscalco, the violation. And this one is too high. Shot by Adrian Acampo. The score is 3-1 here in the second half of this CIF San Diego Section Division II Championship. And here is Bobby Randolph for the goal kick. And his fans and parents for Carlsbad in the background, trying to get some enthusiasm going in the arsenal for the Lancers, who are down by 2 goals here in the second half. That one deflected, no violation called, and here's Sarselmas. Sarselmas lets it meet the ground a couple of times and then gives it a kick, kind of a line drive. Almost like a pool shot, so to speak, to see what he can get going here. And that ball is knocked out of play as the pressure by Torrey Pines ensues in this contest. Dribbling over there is In-Body, but he is being harassed by Robles, and Robles gets the soccer ball and it's kicked off of the Torrey Pines player. So Robles will have the chance to throw it in, or whoever is elected to throw it in for Carlsbad. Throwing it in over there was Chris Downs, and the throw-in was illegal. So now Torrey Pines will get their throw-in. Cam Worskell, number 9. Worskell, who does the throw-in duties for the Falcons. Worskell keeps it in. Trying to work it to the center. To the other side, Maniscalco looking for a feed, but it's taken away. Jeff Wilson. To the center now. The offensive players rush back to try to help out defensively. In the corner, it's kept in. And now with control of it is the Falcons. And the Falcons pushing it up the field, down the wing. They've got the speed going right now. And Jose Estrada has got the toughness going. He is knocked over. And they will have a free kick. And Estrada will take the free kick. Estrada, the determined player, says, you're not going any farther in my defensive zone. And he'll kick it out with a deep line drive. Miguel Pena couldn't control it, and now back the other way goes Inbody. Inbody to the center of the field. Feeds it back to Maniscalco. And now they set it up. Here's the chip shot to the center. Over to Jerry's. Here's a shot and a miss. Nice try by Maniscalco off of the missed try by Jeff Jerry's. Just missed wide of the net. So now it'll be a goal kick. Jose Estrada, who likes to kick it pretty far, and he does. But there again is Jerry's, and now we have a violation of violations against Torrey Pines. And that one was on number 13, Adrian Ocampo. So Ocampo and his team will go the way of the defensive side of Torrey Pines. The score is 3-1 in favor of Torrey Pines over Carlsbad here in this Division II championship game. In the purple, Jose Estrada kicks it deep. And a defender for Torrey Pines. Carlsbad with the control. Try to work a two-man in the corner. Falcons have control, but they kick it out of play. So it'll be a throw-in deep in the territory for the Lancers. And now they set up the Lancers for this one that'll come towards the center, and a defensive setup. And watch the defensive setup here for the Falcons. Nearly a stack. This one is good for 3 points. Actually, what he did is he kicked it way over the net, and of course you see the goalpost there. That'd have been good in another sport, but it's not good in this one. You got to get it in that net. Too high.
Push it in there more. Get in the middle of it. Go.
Here's the corner kick by Adrian Ocampo. Ocampo, who has one of the goals, the sophomore. And it is hit off the defender of Torrey Pines. To the center. And this one is off too wide to the left. Miguel Pena trying to work something in the middle. He had a little bit of duress as he tried to get off that shot. Couldn't get the kind of shot he really wanted to. His team losing in this contest 3-1. Bobby Randolph, the goalkeeper for the Falcons. Getting about 50 yards on that kick. And it goes out of play. Adrian Ocampo, the man who scored the goal in this contest, the lone goal for the Lancers, was the man who scored on penalty kicks for the Lancers to beat the #1 seed Point Loma. So later in the season, Ocampo being able to answer the call when it's needed. He needs to answer the call now, and so does the rest of his teammates, as the clock continues to be an ally for the Fighting Falcons of Torrey Pines as they lead by 2 in this contest. In this championship Division II game. Controlling it. In-body with the pass, and in-body now controlling it. Goes around Ocampo. In-body falls down, stays with the soccer ball, and now feeds it there to Walker. Back to in-body. In-body along the wing, the feed to the center to Jerry's. He scores. Nice play from Pat Walker to TK in-body, and then in-body the feed to Jeff Jerry's in the middle, and nobody was able to mark Jerry's, and he scores past the goaltender for the Lancers, Sarsomas. Now getting the third goal of the contest is Jeff Jerry's, and the Torrey Pines Falcons lead 4-1. Beautiful give and go. Walker to TK in-body, and then in-body the feed to Jeff Jerry's. He knows where to find him, right there in front of the net. And now with it, back in their own defensive area, and a feed down the right side to Ocampo. There's McLaughlin, and he kicks it out of play as Ocampo tries to go down the right side. He again is trying to beat McLaughlin down there, but McLaughlin has played well along his defensive side of the field. There's going to have to be some extreme offensive moves and scores by Carlsbad, and they get one of them. Nice shot by Jonathan Montez, who has scored 22 goals on the year. He gets one here in the Division II final, and now it is 4-2. Carlsbad with the crowd on their side, and they sound like they heard us as they erupt with a quick goal by Montez. And the junior, he'll be back next year, and he answers now with a goal in this game. A couple of goals here now in the last 3 minutes. Team's opening up. Here we go back the other way, and it is knocked out of play by Carlsbad. Didn't get the chance to mention the referees in this contest. The center ref has been Ed Cantor. The linesman has been Jerry Plewalk, and the other linesman is Carl Adrignola. And here's the throw-in. Worskell is the man who likes to do the throw-in duties for him. Here's the feed to the center, but Sarsomas makes the save, and then the defensive action. Estrada off to the wing. Lead cut in half, 4-2. As Torrey Pines scored on a play by Jeff Jerry's, but then they came back and a shot at another goal by Jeff Jerry's. Jerry's just decided to head it in the top corner of the net. He just out-muscled defenders again, and he found a proper place to put it in. And Jeff Jerry's now has 4 goals, and it is 5-2. They just have not been able to find the answer for Jeff Jerry's. 4 goals in the Division II Finals for Jeff Jerry's. He is having an outstanding game. But give credit to his teammates if they have been able, in-body and Mike Danielson and Pat Walker putting the pressure, keeping the ball inside the defensive territory of Carlsbad, and that has been frustrating for the goaltender, who's done all he could for Carlsbad. And right now, a momentary timeout because there's an injury. Number 3, TK in-body, the junior, hit on a leg, and he's going to walk it off. TK, who just got an assist a few minutes back on a goal by Jeff Jerry's, his 3rd goal of the contest, the hat-trick goal, and then, of course, Jeff Jerry's getting that last one. 5-2 is the score. Torrey Pines leads. Can Carlsbad answer again to cut the lead to 2? It's in the defensive zone of Torrey Pines. Well, there's a nice slide kick. And let's see, we have a violation. There is a violation on the play. Action fast and furious here in the second half. Gonna shoot this one is number 20, Miguel Pena. The shot by Pena in the corner of the net, a score, and now it is 5-3. Miguel Pena answers to Jeff Jerry's fourth goal and makes the score now 5-3. And Carlsbad content to answer goals. And they also need to make up a couple in order to have a chance to win this one. They need to play some defense. They've got to stop Jeff Jerry's. Couple of substitutions now, putting fresh players into the contest. Eduardo Mason, number 10, comes into the contest. Coming out was Miguel Velasquez. So Velasquez comes out, Mason comes in for Carlsbad. 5-3 the score. In the corner. Both teams with the opening up play here. With furious rushes into each other's defensive half of the field. Walking it up there is Brian Robles. Taken away, Wursko with a deep feed. And there they go into the corner to in-body. In-body trying to work around a man, a one-on-one, and he loses the ball. It's taken away. Nice job by Luis Torres. Torres trying to feed it up to Robles, but he loses it. It goes out of bounds off the Falcon player, and a throw in by Estrada, who moves up to help out. Over to the corner to Robles. Robles, the senior, in his last game for Carlsbad. Gets it to Chris Downs, who's got another year to play. Here's Estrada, the senior, in his last game. Estrada hustling also with him is Luis Torres. It is pushed out of play by Carlsbad. Torrey Pines with the throw-in. Willie Chambers with the throw-in down the near side, but it was a violation. He stepped in bounds, and you hear it from the crowd from Carlsbad. From the same spot, you got to throw it in. Joe Wilson, and now he violates the throw-in. Did not throw it in from the spot, and so now, and he might not have thrown it in correctly behind his head, and that and it's kicked out of play. You might be able to get away with some of those throw-ins sometimes during the season, but when you get to the finals, there are going to be, you get the good officials that have worked many playoff games and key games, and they're going to mark it on you. TK in-body with a deep feed. Jeff Jerry's, and it's kicked out of play, and boy, that's got a smart. Joe Wilson going to come off, and he'll get a substitution going in there. That's Miguel Velasquez. Joe Wilson trying to get to that, but Jeff Jerry's, big man, can play football also, so you know he's got some weight behind that foot. Jerry just kicks it back deep into the territory, but there was an offsides call. And so Jose Estrada will do the free kicking out of his own territory. It is 5-3 in favor of Torrey Pines. I'm Greg Porter. You're watching George Langevin Video Sports Productions from San Marcos Excalibur Field here in San Marcos. And a handball on that play. So back the other way, the direction of Carlsbad going towards the net of Torrey Pines. About 17 minutes or thereabouts left in the game. They play 40-minute halves. Trying to make up the 2-goal deficit are the Lancers, as the Falcons, with Jeff Jerry's with 4 goals in this contest, they lead 5-2. Brian Robles. And they're pointing handball, but there's no stoppage of play. The crowd goes crazy over here for the Carlsbad side. Here's a throw in, and it is kicked out by Wersko. Throw in for Carlsbad. In deep, and then it is booted out of the territory by Brian McGoughlin. Nice job. And back to go the other way. Pat Walker trying to get it. He goes down, and so does Estrada. And it goes out of play. Estrada going over there to try to cut off an opportunity by Pat Walker to either center the ball in the middle or to get a shot from the corner angle. Good job by Estrada. All these players playing well in this contest, as they have done all year long. 8 goals in the championship here. A lot of goals to be seen. Shows the quality of both of these two teams. Determined not to give up. And you got to have a lot of that in soccer. You got to have a lot of agility too. Got to have a lot of skill also. Both of these two teams showing it. Right here in the deep purple, Carlsbad trying to work an offensive play to cut the score down to 1 if they could. Here's the shot, and it's out of play, knocked out of play. Good job by number 2. And he came over to do a good job on that one, was Brian Tanner.
Get ahead on that, Will.
But in knocking it out, here's the throw in for Carlsbad into the center. And it's a goal, Brian Robles. Brian Robles gets the goal as the goaltender came out, Bobby Randolph, and a lot of traffic down the center, and Robles said, I'm going to tuck it in, and he does, and now it is 5-4. What a contest, as it has turned out to be, of the offensive variety here in the second half. Remember, it was only 2-1 in the first half. And remember, I also told you that it wasn't going to stay 2-1. 5-4 on the goal by Robles. Jonathan Montez might have really got the Carlsbad offensive players going by scoring a goal. He had been shut out, and then now Robles answers, and the forwards are beginning to put up the numbers on the other side, as is evident in a 5-4 score. Approximately about 10 minutes or thereabouts left to go here in the second half. Still lots of time. And a man who may not get a chance to come back in there for Carlsbad is number 5, Joe Wilson, as he was hurt by Jeff Jerry's. He may stay out of the contest as he is. And here, number 7, Miguel Velasquez with the speed. And it is kicked out of play. Deep out of play and over the stands. The crowd over here on the Carlsbad side making tremendous noise. And every time the Lancers get an opportunity to rush the ball up the field, they just roar. In the center, Bobby Randolph, and he makes the save. Making the numbers heard on the side of Carlsbad are their fans. But Torrey Pines has the lead in this contest, 5-4. Nice slide kick, Danielson. Danielson down the middle, but it is kicked out of play. And they say it went off the hands of Mike Danielson as he kicked it out, so Jose Estrada will do the free kicking. Estrada with the good foot. Gets a lot of air underneath the ball. Pat Walker to Danielson on the wing. He falls down, and let's see what they call. They call a violation against Estrada. And Danielson is hurt on a knee there. And they give a yellow card to Jose Estrada. So Estrada getting the yellow card, he's got to come out, and now they've got to put in number 5, Joe Wilson. I guess Wilson is recovered from the leg injury or the foot injury that he had occurred with Jeff Jerry's. And he might go stand right next to Jerry's. TK Inbody directing traffic on his free kick. His team leading by 1 goal here in the second half, the late part of the second half. Inbody with 1 on the net, but it is knocked away. He keeps it in the corner. Danielson hustling for a feeder, and it is kicked out of play by the defenders again. For Carlsbad, five to 4 in favor of Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines, who were Avocado League champions in the '94 season. And they've also beaten Carlsbad a couple of times during the season, trying to make it a 3-time scenario here. And a knockout, and it goes in the corner, and let's see what they call. They say it was a legal play, so thus there's no penalty shot or indirect kick of any kind, and now it'll be kicked out by Sarselmas. Boy, was that a crucial defensive play for the Lancers. Willie Chambers will do the throw-in for Torrey Pines. TK Inbody to the other side of the net, and it is knocked out by Torrey Pines. And now the substitution coming in is Jose Estrada. Estrada will come in for Joe Wilson for Carlsbad. Hope you're enjoying this one from San Marcos. The Division II finals of CIF in the San Diego section. Bobby Randolph is able to make the save. Miguel Velasquez, the junior, coming hard on the play. Couple of heading opportunities, and then it is kicked out quickly. Jeff Jerry's off of his head and back the wrong way for Jerry's. The right way for Carlsbad. Pushing it up the field, Torrey Pines, and then it is knocked out of play, but it is going to be Torrey Pines' soccer ball to take it in the territory of Carlsbad. And there's a feeding pass to Velasquez in the center, and he continues to come towards Randolph. Randolph picks it up. Bobby Randolph, and gives it a good goal kick to the center. Miguel Pena over to Velasquez, and it is tipped out by Velasquez. Fans didn't like that one for Carlsbad. They thought that the defensive player had knocked it out in Brian Tanner, but it wasn't to be. Randolph. Danielson was trying to get it. It went over Estrada, back to Danielson, and out rolls over to the goaltender, Sarselmaz. And Sarselmaz will give it a goal kick for Carlsbad. Angling over here to the near side, knocked out of play by Carlsbad. Time running out, 1 goal difference. 5 for Torrey Pines, 4 for Carlsbad. Clock is the ally of the Fighting Falcons. And in a way, you could just say that the Torrey Pines Falcons are just trying to play a territorial game, not necessarily to try to score a goal, but just to waste time off the clock. And because of Jeff Jerry's 4 goals, they can try to do that as he feeds it over to Pat Walker. Walker stops and tries to feed running forward down the right side, and it's a violation, so Carlsbad will have the throw-in. It's kicked out. Brian Robus trying to get control, and he does. Pena loses it, running after it, and he keeps it in. Velasquez, Pena, and TK Inbody feeds it off the referee on the far side, and out of play. Carlsbad, time running down. They have to get something to tie it up. Torrey Pines just has to keep them off the boards, and they'll win Division II championship for boys soccer. Have a violation. Here's Jose Estrada, as it was an offsides violation. Jeff Jerry's with control. Jerry's feeds it over in the corner to a running Danielson. He tries to control it in the corner. It goes out of play with Estrada on his back, and it's going to be a throw-in, and they give a red card, and a red card means he's ejected. He is out of the contest. Estrada was over there fighting for the ball with Danielson, and he gets a red card, and boy, that's got to hurt him here late in the game because of the Estrada's toughness. And he gets a round of applause. He has played so well, a gutsy, determined young man. Estrada, the senior, what a way to go out in the winning moments of this Division II final here at San Marcos. But getting the red card means a disqualification, and you got to come out of the soccer game. So, Time running down. Not much more than 5 minutes, maybe less than that, left to go. The official time kept on the field, and they don't have a scoreboard showing how much time. We try to do our best, but nice tackle there on that play. And play getting a little bit rough here in the winning moments of the contest. As both teams trying to do what they want to try to keep each other off the board or try to score. If you're Carlsbad, the feed is over to the other side, and it is kicked off. All the players for Torrey Pines pointing. And it's going to go for the purple of Carlsbad. The Lancers, here's a corner kick, high in the middle, it's in a corner and it's off and wide. Nice try by Velasquez. The crowd, or rather Brian Robles, with a roar over here, but it didn't go. Bobby Randolph, content to take his time. Time running down. In the favor of Torrey Pines. They lead 5-4. The double whistle, and Torrey Pines wins the championship of Division II with a 5-4 score over the Carlsbad Lancers. Both teams played well. Both teams should be commended for having a fine season, and we hope you enjoyed this one from San Marcos High School in San Marcos. A round of applause for both teams and a customary soccer handshake. And both these two teams, sure enough, will be back next year for fine play. I'm Greg Porter, and we'll be back with some interviews for the Torrey Pines winners of Division II, the Falcons, and maybe some of the Carlsbad players. We'll be right back.
Dolores Delgado and principal Bill Desmond.
Oh, it'd be better if we would have won, but I think we played our hearts out.
Assistant for the CIF. Assignment Secretary, Mr. John Clark.
Guys, stay here, man. Stay here.
For Carlsbad High School,
Chris!
accepting the runner-up medals. Jason Gabarro.
Let's go, Jason. Come on, Jason. Get the yellows, huh? Let's go, guys. Come on.
Miguel Pena.
All right, Miguel. Come on, Miguel. Let's go, guys.
Justin Shadow.
All right, Justin. Let's go, buddy.
Eric Paz.
All right.
William Stalder.
Go, Will. Great job tonight, buddy.
David Cole.
Let's go. Good job, Will.
With one goal this evening, Adrian Ocampo.
All right, Adrian. Great job, Adrian. Good job, Adrian.
Luis Torres.
All right, Luis. Well done, buddy.
With one goal, Brian Robles.
All right, Brian. Great job, buddy.
Eduardo Mason.
All right, Eduardo. Good job, buddy.
Also with one goal, Jonathan Montes.
All right, Jonathan. Great job, buddy.
Miguel Velasquez.
All right, Miguel. Good job, buddy. Good job. Let's go.
Chris Downs.
All right, Chris. Great job, buddy.
Joe Wilson.
All right, Joe.
Juancio Torres.
All right, guys. MCO.
Colin Corcoran. Jose Estrada.
Yeah.
Paz Fernandez.
All right, pause.
Timothy Prashant.
Okay. Now, okay.
Assistant coach Scott Peterson.
All right, Scotty. Come on, Scotty.
Coach Jeff Riccatelli. Ladies and gentlemen, the CIF runner-up, the Carlsbad Lancers.
Hey, guys. Go. Stay here and clap for them.
Congratulations
All
to
right?
Carlsbad
They played
on a
well.
fine season.
Stay here and clap for them.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
All right, pass it around, guys.
the Division II CIF champion, Torrey Pines Falcons. Assisting in the words presentation, Vice Principal Mr. George Robinson and Principal Mr. Simeon Greenstein. Willie Chambers. Jeff Russell.
Who is that?
Correct. Jeff Wilson. Cameron Rushball. Ryan Canner. Ed Rodriguez. Ryan McLaughlin. Ryan McGuire. Grace Maniscalco. Clayton Koppler.
Tatum Brock. Way to go, buddy.
Good job. TK Inbody.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Massive.
Danielson.
Yes.
Corey Carroll.
Mikey. Brilliant. Brilliant done.
Justin Doctor.
Congratulations.
With football receiving Pat Walker.
Good job, Pat.
Bobby Randolph. Ryan McManus.
Gentlemen, here's our third championship. The first game, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But the score, what is the score? Guys, gentlemen, I've never seen a more athletic team at Torrey Pines High School. You guys are brilliant and great coaching.
Please drive safely.
Let's go see the girls team.
Butter my head anymore. Gosh, what are you doing?
After winning the contest 5-4, we're here with Jeff Jerry's, the most valuable player in this game. Jeff Jerry scoring 4 goals. Jeff, you scored 4 goals. Had you ever scored 4 goals in any kind of a game, soccer game of this magnitude?
Not since I was a little kid, no. Not since in this magnitude before, no.
That must have felt great, especially in the second half, you know, the heading opportunities, you know, that you got in the goal. What were you thinking on both of the attempts, especially the last one?
I don't know. I wasn't really thinking. It kind of just happens. You don't really think. You think after it happens. I mean,
you know, you have some good forwards that really help you out there. Danielson, of course, and Pat Walker. They seem to be all over the defense. How do you guys seem to coordinate your play offensively to be able to put that kind of attack on team?
I don't know. I mean, we have some great midfielders, Cam Worskell, TK Inbody, Pat, and Mike, as you said. I mean, they all put great balls in. I mean, I don't score unless they cross the ball. So, I mean, that's the way we do it. I mean, it just happens. We got so many talented players. That's just the way it seems to work out every time. I mean,
so is this the end of soccer for you for this year, or are you, until next high school season?
Club State Cup, that's about it, and then I'll wait until next year.
Okay, well, thanks very much for coming out. Congratulations on winning the CIF championship.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Bye. Yeah.
Pat Walker, the forward for Torrey Pines. You had a great game today. Your forwards were just all over the place. It just seemed like their defensive pressure was just pressure too much. You guys had the game today.
Yeah, I agree. All 3 forwards have done an absolutely brilliant job, you know, this whole year scoring goals. Especially Jeff Jarris tonight. He had his night, had 4 goals. Great. Couldn't have asked for a better night for Jeff.
Late in the game, your forwards had to come out and help out because they were putting a lot of pressure, getting some odd man rushes and stuff. What were you thinking?
Started to get close there at the end. I didn't think that game was ever going to end. Yeah, they were bringing extra men back up the middle, so we had to drop some of the forwards and stuff. But we survived. We did what we had to do.
I need to let you get on out of here because I guess your girls' team is playing in a CIF championship game also. Huh?
Got to go root them on.
Okay. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Back after the CIF championship matchup, and you are again?
Caden Koffler.
Caden, you you're a team that played very well all year long. How did you prepare for this season, knowing that there's a possibility that you could win a championship like tonight?
Well, we knew we were going to win it the whole time. You know, we had total confidence coming into the season, and you know, once Brian came back, we just started getting to know each other a little better, playing with each other, and you know, sooner or later we were just playing magic soccer, just brilliant, you know. And this team tonight, they just kept coming back, and you know, they were relentless. I got to give it to them.
You played them a couple of times earlier in the season. What kind of a game did they play today versus the other 2 times?
I thought they played much tougher today, you know, much more relentless. The other games we kind of got ahead, and I could see them giving up, but you know, it was the greatest game I've ever played, and they were relentless.
It's a lot of fun, especially when you win the championship, right? Well, thanks for coming out, and good luck in the future in your soccer here.
Thank you.
We're here on the Carlsbad side. A tough loss, losing 5-4, a game in which you was down 2-1 at halftime. You came back after they were leading in the contest by a number of goals. What did you say to yourselves to rally back and try to make a game out of it?
It's basically, we have nothing to lose. Play with a lot of heart and just don't give up. Just stick in there.
Obviously, that's been a key for you guys all year long. I mean, you beat the #1 seed Point Loma. You showed it again, much determination. And maybe if there was more minutes left in the game, you might have had a chance to tie it up and go in an overtime situation. But what do you do now to get ready for next year?
I'm not coming back next year, so.
I mean, the school.
The school, I think they just stay with it. Don't get down because we're losing a lot of people. A lot of seniors are going, and just keep it up. Just play hard, play with your heart.
Are you going to go to college and play?
Yeah.
What college?
I'm going to go to Palomar first for 2 years and probably still play at the Surf, the San Diego Surf, and then transfer over to a 4-year to university.
Well, I wish you much success in the future. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks a lot.
I'm Brian Robles.
Okay. And Brian Robles, we're here again. And Brian, tough game, you know, to lose it like this. But one of the things that you did is you put a lot of pressure in towards the end of the game and to try to make the outcome different. What did you have to come up with within yourself to try to make it a victory?
Well, we started off pretty strong, and that was pretty motivating right there in itself. And we hadn't, I guess, it kind of surprised ourselves, but we've had trouble throughout the season keeping a lead whenever we get ahead. And plus the fact that I think Torrey Pines intimidated all of us a little bit. We've played with them twice before, and they beat us. So they just started overwhelming us. And personally, I had to turn around and say to myself that we weren't going to go out this way at all. And the whole team felt the same way. We all decided to pick it up. It wasn't anything planned. We just kind of felt it all together, I guess. And we kind of saved our pride a little bit. And although we came out minus a point against them, it was still a great game. And I'd like to congratulate Torrey Pines. They're a great club. And that's it.
Yeah, they really are. And you've had a great season. And what do you do now as far as the rest of this year, as far as sports is concerned?
Volleyball starts at spring, and I'll go back to my club team that I play outside. We're going to State Cup and hopefully college, somewhere around there.
Okay, what's the name of that State Cup team?
I'm playing for Carlsbad. It's the Carlsbad Wave. We're a AAA B team, and the next division up's AAA A. But so we'll be competing in a couple weeks, I believe. So we'll begin practice soon. So we'll have 2 sports going right now. And then
Congratulations on a fine season, and thanks for coming out, and good luck in the future for you.
Thank you very much.
Jose Estrada, you runners up. You can't hold your head down. You guys played a fantastic brand of soccer today. You almost was able to pull it off, but you fell short in the end. Coming into this game, what did you have to do to really get yourself prepared for this game?
Just pressure the players and keeps our head up, and just we needed to do it, but we couldn't pull it up.
Of course, you know, you got the yellow card in that, or the actually the red card at the end. What happened in that play? I know it was a close play. I didn't think it, you know, was going to turn out to be a red card, but it.
I didn't even touch him. He just like fake it. No.
Yeah, it was a tough call there, especially at the end of the game. But now, since it's over, what do you do now? You know, I know you're a senior. What do you do now?
I'm planning to go to Palomar and play over there. Palomar.
Some of the another one of your teammates is going to Palomar too to play soccer also. So I guess Palomar is going to be very happy because they've got some stalwart players coming.
So we hope to bring it up and make a good thing up there.
Okay, Jose, thanks for coming out, and good luck in the future with your soccer and your studies and everything else. Thanks for coming out again.
Thank you.
Sanj Sarsamaz, you played a tremendous game considering the opportunities that they had. Their forwards were all around you all night long, especially in the first half. They didn't make good on a lot of their opportunities. Second half they did, one player in particular, but I thought you kept your head in the game, and then even with the injury that you had in the first half, I mean, you almost were out of the game. You're a heady player. What were you thinking about as far as what you had to do coming into the game to try and stop these guys?
I was thinking about their offense. They have a great offense. They have Jeff Jerry's up front, TK Mbadi, and Pat Walker. And most of the time, Torrey Pines, they like look to get the ball to them, and they do the work. And it showed what they did tonight. Jeff Jerry's had 4 goals, and they played a great game, and they deserve it.
Well, you know, you played some great soccer there in the goal nets, and even though your counterpart was only a sophomore, you're not going to be back next year, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm a senior, and looking on to move on and play some soccer, either at a JC or a 4-year.
Okay, any particular JC?
Palomar.
Palomar? If you're gonna, it looks like everybody's going to Palomar.
Yeah, Palomar is the closest around here, so probably there. Or there's been like other schools that maybe I can go to too if I have an opportunity.
Well, I'm sure they'd like to, if Palomar gets you, I'm sure they'd like to have fine players from the CIF runner-ups. You played a great game today. Thanks for coming out, and good luck in the future.
Thanks a lot.
And we're back with another one of the members of the runner-ups for Carlsbad here. In the first half, they had a lot of opportunities, but you also were able to make good on some plays. A great play by Ocampo to get the lead to start it off. Did you think the game might have turned out a different way than that? Maybe a game that was just kind of a low-scoring game, or what did you think the game was going to end up like? Did you think it was going to end up like this?
I never thought it was going to end up 5-4. We thought once we were down 5-2, I figured that's it. That's the end of the game. But then we scored an awesome goal by a free kick, another free kick, and I never figured it was going to be a 5-4 game. That's high for a soccer game.
And you are again?
Jonathan Montes.
And Jonathan, you going to be back next year?
Yeah, I'm a junior. I'll be back as a senior next year.
All right. What do you have to do next year, even though you're going to be losing a lot of players, to get it going again and maybe make the playoffs, and who knows?
We're going to have to play as a team. This year at the beginning, we started playing like individually, and we weren't playing too good. That's how we lost our first 3 games, something like that. And we started playing as a team, and we got here, and we did good.
Well, I know you scored most of the goals on the season, 22 or something?
23, yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like, again, like you said, when you got your goal, things, as we said in the telecast, things seemed to change, and it looked like you guys might be able to get an equalizer or something like that. Who knows? But you came up a little bit short, and you're going to be back next year. They're going to rally around you, and that's going to be the key.
Yeah, I don't like the pressure too much, but I'm going to have to do it, and I'm going to have to play as a team with the rest of the players, even if I don't like them.
Well, good luck in the future, Jonathan. Thanks for playing a good game today. We're here with the CIF runner-up coach for the Carlsbad Lancers, Jeff Rigatelli. Jeff, tough loss, but what did you tell them at halftime to get back into this game?
Basically, what I just asked them a question. I said, do any guys here think that we cannot come back and win this game. And they all told me, yeah, we think we can come back. And I just said, hey, well, if you think you can do it, then let's start proving on the field, because I didn't think we played a very a good first half. I mean, I think we came out a little intimidated, and I think the whole spectacle of it being in the CIF championships, we came out a little flat. We picked it up second half, and they went up on us, what, 4-1 I think it was, and we could have quit, but that's not been the attitude of this team all year, and that's kind of why we've gotten to where we are so far, is because we haven't quit in a game. And I think that everyone out here tonight saw that by the finish. I mean, a 5-4 finish, and we were still firing at the end. I think Torrey Pines walked out of here happy that it was 5-4. I mean, it could have very easily gone 5-5.
Adrian Campbell started it off with the goal. That really got you off on the right foot. The crowd got into it. And then in the second half, of course, when things weren't going your way, you got Montez to score, who has been scoring all year long. He's been the high scorer. What did you think at that point?
Well, when we went 4-2, I first thought was, oh, why did we give up the fourth one? Because I thought 3-2, we can still come back. But Montez has been all year. He's been kind of like the fire plug. When he gets going, the team kind of rallies around him and gets going. So I knew if we got that second goal that it was possible something would happen. And then when Pena hit that free kick, which was probably one of the best goals I've ever seen in my life, that definitely fired us up. I mean, that inspired us, and I think it kind of shocked them, and that's what enabled us to get the fourth one.
And even though, they had 4 goals by their star player, you still were in there at the end, and it just fell a little bit short.
Yeah, but as far as I was concerned, either way we came out tonight, we were winners, because we've never been to the finals before, and so this was the first time for Carlsbad, and it would have been great to go home champions, but no one's ever been a runner-up, so we got something to shoot for now, so that's kind of the way we'll see what happens. I just told the guys at the end of the game, don't hang your heads. You guys had a great season, and you played your hearts out on the field.
So you get them in the summertime, started with Montez, and you kind of work something, even though you're going to have a lot of young players to work around him and get something going, maybe get back in here next year?
Yeah, I think I have most of my offense actually is all 11th and 10th graders, so I have most of them coming back. So more than anything, it's just going to be coming in and getting some people established on the defense, and if some people can step up and fill in on defense, I think we have a shot at being back here next year. I'd like to be back here. I mean, it'd be fun. So.
For a team that they had with a lot of size and determination, but you guys were very gutsy. You played a real fantastic championship Division II game, and thanks for being on our George Landevin Video Sports Productions.
All right, thanks.
And that's going to do the wrap here from San Marcos, where you saw the final score. It was 5 for Torrey Pines, the Falcons, 4 for the Carlsbad Lancers, in a Division II boys